The dog felt lost and scared. Her owner abandoned her on the road and left. However, something unexpected was about to happen. Bruce opened the car door and placed the box with the puppies on the seat quickly. Gracie, the dog, leaped behind the puppies, driving frantically. Bruce continued driving, turning onto a narrow path leading to the stream in about 5 minutes. He parked the car, grabbed the box, and tossed it into the tall grass, barking anxiously. Gracie jumped after the box without looking back. Bruce accelerated, retracing the same path they came from. Now Gracie was alone, taking care of her puppies. How had all this happened? Would Bruce return someday? Gracie could only lament that the last days had been so difficult. It was a Sunday morning, and Gracie had just woken up. However, the feeling of awakening no longer brought joy as before. Bruce, her owner, was no longer the same. First, his wife Janet left and never returned. Then Bruce stopped working. Most days, he simply woke up, opened a beer, and sat on the porch, consumed by a rage that he often took out on Gracie. The dog was pregnant, her protective instincts were heightened. If Janet were present, maybe dealing with the situation would be easier. However, with her absence and Bruce's unpredictable behavior, Gracie found herself completely alone and vulnerable, not knowing what Bruce might do. In recent days, Bruce had been negligent about Gracie's food. She was really hungry. It was then that she noticed the slightly open door. Driven by hunger, Gracie decided to risk it and pushed the door, entering the kitchen. She was nervous. If Bruce caught her inside, she would be in trouble. Despite the temptation to give up, the intense hunger pangs encouraged her to continue. In the kitchen, among dirty dishes and Bruce's dinner leftovers, Gracie found a forgotten sandwich and devoured it quickly. At that moment, Bruce came downstairs with a beer in hand, his smell strong and unpleasant. Gracie always avoided him when he was like this, as he became especially cruel. Upon sensing his presence, Gracie tried to run towards the back door but wasn't fast enough. Bruce spotted her and leaped the last steps to intercept her. Gracie felt a deep fear when faced with Bruce's menacing gaze, which no longer seemed the same. Bruce tried to kick her, but Gracie skillfully dodged and managed to reach the back door, escaping before Bruce could grab her. Gracie returned to her kennel in the backyard. For a moment, she feared Bruce would follow her, but he gave up the chase, hurling curses at her. Bruce slammed the back door, leaving her there without checking her food or water. Trembling with fear and hunger, Gracie felt the puppies moving inside her, and her only certainty was that the incident with Bruce was not over yet. Worried about her own situation, Gracie needed to get Bruce's attention to get food and water. Bruce was sitting on the front porch, surrounded by a pile of empty beer cans. Gracie tried to approach, but upon noticing her, Bruce reacted aggressively, shouting and throwing empty beer cans at her direction. Disheartened, Gracie returned to her kennel, hungry and thirsty. Her instincts told her that her puppies would be born that night. In the distance, thunder rumbled, announcing the arrival of a heavy rain. If it were Janet, she would have brought Gracie inside during a storm like this, but Bruce didn't. Gracie retreated to the farthest corner of her kennel. The first 2 puppies were born almost simultaneously with the first raindrops. From then on, the birth of the puppies seemed synchronized with the storm. Each lightning was followed by a puppy's birth, and each thunder was accompanied by another. As the rain fluctuated in intensity, more puppies were born. At 3 a.m., Gracie had given birth to a litter of 9 puppies on Monday morning. Bruce woke up early. Gracie watched as he walked out the back door holding a beer. He stood still for a moment before remembering her and heading to the kennel. Gracie positioned herself at the entrance of the kennel, trying to protect her puppies. However, Bruce pushed her roughly and looked inside, his expression darkening instantly. First Janet leaves you here for me to take care of, and now you want me to take care of these puppies too. That's not going to happen. Bruce fetched a cardboard box from home, pushed Gracie aside, picked up the puppies one by one, and placed them in the box before walking toward the car. Gracie was terrified. She wanted to protect her puppies and attack Bruce, but she knew it would only result in more violence against her and her puppies. So she made the only move she considered safe: she stayed by Bruce's side. Bruce placed the box of puppies on the car seat and then said, pointing at Gracie, "Are you coming with your puppies, or should I find another solution for you?" Even without understanding his words, Gracie jumped into the car. Bruce drove down a muddy road, grumbling constantly. When he stopped, he threw the box out of the car. Gracie jumped out of the vehicle and ran towards her puppies without looking back. Bruce closed the door and returned the same way they came. After checking each of his 9 puppies, Gracie sat next to the box, feeling helpless and completely alone. Thirsty, she ran to the stream to drink water and quickly returned to her puppies. She waited for Bruce's possible return. If he didn't come back, she didn't know what to do. Then, on that sunny morning after the previous night's rain, Clara, a woman who managed a store specializing in healing and wellness products, was heading to the stream to gather some mushrooms about 1 kilometer away. She heard the sound of a car approaching on the dirt road. The engine roared loudly. When the vehicle passed her, it was at high speed. Clara briefly saw the man behind the wheel and immediately noticed his bad mood. His face was scrunched up, and he seemed to be grumbling to himself. Poor man, thought Clara. He's missing out on the opportunity to appreciate the beauty and peace of this wonderful morning. Gracie spotted Clara even before the woman noticed her. For a moment, a spark of hope lit up the dog's heart. If Clara were a kind soul, maybe she could help. Remembering how Janet appreciated such kindness, Gracie sat up straight, tilted her head, and perked up her ears. That's when Clara noticed the dog. "Oh, how beautiful you are! What are you doing here alone?" exclaimed Clara as Gracie approached her. Clara began to gently stroke her ears. Gracie felt comforted by Clara's tenderness. After allowing a few caresses, Gracie looked back and whimpered. Clara was confused and reached out to pet her again. However, Gracie recoiled, whimpering softly and looking back. Realizing that Gracie was trying to communicate something, Clara followed the dog through the tall grass until she found the box. Opening the box and coming face to face with the 9 puppies, Clara was stunned. Initially, she had thought Gracie was just lost, but the 9 puppies in the cardboard box told a much sadder story. Gracie and her puppies had been abandoned, and the angry man in the car she had seen on the way to the stream was likely responsible for such inhumane act. Feeling the urgency of the situation, Clara acted quickly. She picked up the cardboard box with the puppies, looked at Gracie, and gestured for the dog to follow her. Understanding Clara's signal, Gracie felt immediate relief as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. Since that fateful day, 2 years had passed, and Clara's life had changed significantly. Previously, she managed her store alone while attending to her patients at home. However, after rescuing Gracie and her puppies, her family grew from 1 to 11 members. Now the puppies had grown up, each with their own personalities and quirks. Meanwhile, Bruce's life had taken a disastrous turn. After abandoning the dogs near the stream, he tried to get rid of everything that reminded him of Janet. His alcohol dependence only increased, leading him to lose control of his life rapidly. Bruce lost his job, after losing his house and, ultimately, his car. With only a tent and a backpack, Bruce found himself forced to settle near the stream where he had abandoned Janet's dogs. He survived by doing odd jobs in town, earning just enough to sustain his alcohol addiction, but little more. Without washing his clothes for months, his body odor became unbearable, and he lived in a constant state of drunkenness. It was in this deplorable state that Clara and Gracie found him. One morning, amidst the banks of the stream, Gracie's reaction upon seeing Bruce immediately worried Clara. The dog showed signs of alertness, softly growling as she approached the man. "Easy, girl," Clara said, stroking her head. "It's okay. What do we do when we see someone in need? We help, of course." Bruce was visibly drunk, barely able to stand. Carefully, Clara slid her shoulder under Bruce's arm and led him to her home. After being taken in by Clara, Bruce spent 2 days recuperating in an atmosphere of care and compassion. Holding a cup of black coffee in his hands, he looked at Clara and said, his voice low and laden with remorse, "I know this dog. I did something terrible to her." Clara looked into Bruce's eyes and replied gently, "I know. It was clear from her behavior when we found you by the stream. Animals have a special way of showing us their emotions and wounds." With tears in his eyes, Bruce murmured, "I don't know how to fix all this. I feel completely lost." Smiling gently, Clara said, "First, you need to find yourself and forgive yourself. Recognizing your mistakes is the first step to redemption. And believe me, the dog will forgive you too. Animals have an incredible capacity to forgive and love unconditionally." With these comforting words, Bruce felt a glimmer of hope. Days passed, and Bruce volunteered to help Clara in her store and attended local support groups to overcome his alcohol and impulsive behavior problems. Over time, the relationship between Bruce and Gracie began to transform. Under Clara's guidance and patience, Bruce learned to build trust with the dog and her puppies. Through Clara's love and compassion, and Gracie's incredible forgiveness, Bruce learned to forgive himself and find a new purpose and meaning in his life, showing that it is possible to find light even in the darkest and most challenging moments of life. My friends, we have reached the end of this beautiful story. If you enjoyed it, please leave your like and share, and if you're not subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe, hit the bell icon to receive notifications, and until the next video, God bless you.